What's up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by my channel, Esteemed Queen and Mentality. Be sure that y'all like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below so that way you get to know when I post all of my messages and my tea talks, okay? So if I sound a little nasally, it's because y'all know it is that sinus season. I was trying to wait till my Claritin kicked in, but it's been a while since I've been up here. I've been, as y'all know, a bit busy doing a lot of different things, but now I'm finally back home. I'm working from home for the holidays, so I have a little bit more time on my hands to give y'all a couple tea talks that I've been working on. So just because I've been gone don't mean I ain't been working, okay? So get your water, get your wine, get whatever it is that you sipping on, honey. Get it and bring it close. Book club Thursdays are back on in effect beginning next week, and yeah, anything else is down below. Now, while you go ahead and gather all your good stuff and you're coming close, we need to have a tea talk. We need to have a tea talk. I know a lot of y'all were looking at that thumbnail like, what is going on here? Glad you asked, because I want to tell you. I remember a meme a while back when I was like in high school of a tea bag inside of a cup, and I remember it saying, you know, we don't know what we're capable of until we're dipped into hot water. When all hell break loose, when a war's broke out in our wallet, in our home, we don't know what we capable of to remedy, to find a solution or make amends until we can't look nowhere else. You know, the bill extensions are over with, and you gotta pay up, pay out for them to collect. That go for every which way: man, chick, child, children, school, homework, classwork, you name it. So we need to talk about what comes from when we're in these teabag situations, or we're in these hot water plus pressure situations. And it's really intriguing because it tells a lot about yourself. I want to say that first because a lot of people feel like, well, if I can get out of the situation, then I'm out of hot water. That water still got to cool down, boo. So in the meantime, in between time, even though 100 degrees is burning the skin off your behind, you go over there, you still got to deal with whatever comes down to what? Zero. So if you jump into something that's hot, and if you think just because you jump out of it, you get out of it, you get over it, you get past it, it's not going to still have an effect. That's a whole lie and then some. So we need to talk about that. You know, a lot of people real quick to be like, oh, well, I'm real this and I'm real that. Well, you know, we about to find out if you're a real example or not. You know what I'm saying? So we need to talk about, yes, we need to talk about the tea bag. I know it just sounds a little weird, but you know what? We're going to go with it because it's the truth. You feel me? And we're going to talk about it how it TIE is. No chaser. So, the first thing I want to bring up, besides of the main idea of your character, is number one, under pressure or hot water, what's inside of us comes out. I think I just said that. Alright, so, you know, when you put a tea bag into water and you let it steep, you'll realize that the color of the water has changed. The color of the milk has changed. And that is because it's now sharing the room of another component that's being added. Right? So when we in hot water and things just start to come at us, come down on us, we don't know what we're getting ourselves into until we get into it. This is why it's so important for you to make sure you make good choices and decisions before any of this even comes up. You know, because a lot of times we think about what it will be in that moment, but we don't think about the thereafter. We don't think about the, you know, the effects of what's going to come thereafter. Everything has a ripple effect. Point blank, period. That goes from your family tree. That goes down to when you out in the ocean. Everything has a ripple effect. Number 2, what absorbs your heart will test you and confront your weakness. All right. I like to use this as a modern day example: alcohol. A lot of times we find that when people don't have that around, they go through the withdrawals. And so even then, whatever the vice is that keeps someone seeming like they're normal until one day the earth and time just stops moving, and you find that, okay, something's going on, because now this person is showing their weakness when they need to be trying to conquer their coward. So we have to be sure what we also hold and idolize. I did a video on mindful versus being idolized, and I will always be mindful. I will prefer to be mindful, because even when you're mindful, it gives you room to make mistakes and learn from them. You can't do that when you're being idolized. All right, that's just too much. That's just too much. I like being to myself and staying to myself. Don't nobody need to know me like Jesus, but I'm just saying, everybody different. Everybody attention factor, everybody's childhood trauma has a different level. And what a different level comes a different level of attention that's needed from others. This is another reason why we find ourselves in hot water, because we lose a lot of ourselves when we're trying to move forward. And don't we lose sight of that main lesson every time we enter a new chapter? Somewhere we find a comfortable place where we don't no longer think about the past. We're thinking about what you had to go through to get the peace that you're in. And when you want to stay in that place of absorbing and wanting and feeling like you deserve that peace, what happens? It creates a whole nother storm, because time isn't meant for you to stay in the same spot, but it damn sure isn't meant for you to put yourself in hot water. All right? And by any regards, you know, that goes for people telling you, well, I want to start a family, but they can't be home at a decent hour. They can't chip all the way in, not pitch in. You know, they can't do the simple things that will show them to you to be someone that will be good for you on your journey. You know, I feel like people take advantage of everybody so much these days just to save themselves from being in hot water. And the problem is, you're continuing to be a coward, not thinking and wanting and choosing to be a conqueror. So you go through these hot water situations, these trials and tribulations, not because you don't learn, but because the effect hasn't affected you enough. So we have to be very careful about what our weaknesses are, because they tell a lot without words. Picture book. Number 3, your purpose and mission increases in value because you're focused, right? If you know you have a deadline to meet, to pay something, you have a deadline to prove and do whatever it is that you need to do at work. If something you need counts on it, relies on it, depends on it to go smoothly and positively, I bet you a fat man, I bet you a thin one, you will be so tunnel vision focused on making sure you are just as sharp as a pencil that don't do shit. You're not going to leave any rock not turned over. You're not going to leave any T uncrossed or any I in capital letter. You're going to dot that bitch. So why can't we apply that outside of being in that hot water? Because we get comfortable. When we get comfortable and we choose to adapt, not continue on, you may have to manage and tolerate, but at least you're moving. This is how we get into that hot water. And how we get out of that hot water is our focus. Because without focus, what are you doing? You're just wandering around. You're just wandering around, mimicking the loss. Tea bags are always in hot water because they're lost. They're always in something. They always seem to feel like they can't get a break. They always feel as if, like, you know, they can't get out of something before they get into something else first. Check yourself. Check yourself. I don't know about y'all, but I'd rather be the saucer and not the teacup or the tea bag or the water in the cup. That's just me. That's just me. But hey, you tell me down below. But ultimately, number four really sums it up for me when it comes down to, you know, you being in these tea bag situations with life. And that is, pressure and hot water teach you sacrifice and obedience. It all boils down to you learning the lessons and accepting the choices that you chose. That's what makes them decisions. Because if you move forward and you talk to who you used to be, that will be the word you'll say. I had a decision to make and I made it. So think about every time you put yourself in that situation, the effects of that tea bag. You can jump right on up out of it and get away with it. Cool. But what about the lasting effects? That goes for trauma. That goes for relationships, healthy, unhealthy, friendships, healthy, unhealthy. Whatever you're choosing to do from this day on, if it makes you smile and it makes you feel healthy and it seems like it belongs as like a piece to your puzzle in your life, just remember the tea bag effects always seems to help us get back on that straight and narrow. To remember our focus, to remember our morals, to remember our purpose, to remember what it is that we ultimately are out to do. To feel like we're all part of this world. And in the midst of that, a lot of how we look at ourselves has to be sacrificed in order for us to see the bigger picture. Because when there's no room for foresight, what is your insight worth? So, just think about that. All right. So, y'all be sure to like, share, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are down below about this whole entire, you know, about this video. I think a lot of strong people come out of hot water situations when they realize the pressure only creates diamonds. All right. So be sure that y'all like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.